Hello everybody, and welcome to another standard video here on the channel. Today we are going to be using the GRIXIS Midrange deck that Merchant brought to the Mythic Invitational. Merchant is a well-known YouTuber and streamer of Magic the Gathering, and so I figured we would take his list for a spin. It does feature NicolaiBolas the Ravager, so it was totally one that I wanted to try out for all of you folks. We're going to go through the deck tech in a moment, but before I do, I want to remind you that if you enjoy the video and enjoy standard content on my channel, be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to get updates for whenever I post new content, and let me know in the comment section down below that you are enjoying the standard content. And also, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those in the comment section as well. So let's go through the card choices here. 3 Duress. This is really just a nice card. I really do like Duress in the format. I think 3 is a nice number because you don't want to draw too many of them. But against the aggressive decks like Burn, you can hit their Lightning Strikes, their like burn spells, their Experimental Frenzies, which can be problematic. You can also, against the white decks, you can hit their History of Venalias and their Conclave Tribunal, so they're still going to be targets. You can also hit the new 3-mana one that puts a counter on all of your creatures and makes them indestructible. I forget what it's called right this moment, but it can also hit that. So there's a lot of targets in the 2 aggressive decks. And then against control decks, you can take their counter magic or the cards that are important in the matchup. Maybe if you want to land a Thief of Sanity, you can take their removal spells. 2 Negates. Negate's another card that, kind of like Duress, has game against a lot of the field. I think it's a pretty nice inclusion. You can use it to protect your creatures, stop some planeswalkers, things like that. Search for Iskanta, a nice card in the control matchups. You can only run like 2 of them because if you draw in the aggressive matchups, it's not very good. But it's definitely a nice card to have access to. Cast Down for removal, Moment of Craving for removal. There's also a couple of Vraska's Contempts for removal. I think the removal package could be tweaked a little bit, but I'll talk about changes that I would recommend for the deck after playing a couple matches with the deck so that you can get a sense of how the deck plays out as the original creator intended, and then after seeing how things play out, I'll give my recommendations on how I would change it. I have, of course, played a couple matches, like several matches, just to get a sense of the deck, but generally I had some things I would change, but we'll keep going, and we'll talk about those later. Thought Erasure is a nice card, good against the control decks because you can take their important cards. Not as good in the slower matchups because you just do want to be killing their creatures. Thief of Sanity is a really interesting card because a lot of the decks can just kill it, and you don't have a super high threat density, but when it does stick around, it just wins you the game, so it is a very strong card. NicolaiBolas the Ravager, obviously very strong card when it resolves. It takes like 2 burn spells to kill this from the red deck, so this is just a really nice card against them. It also takes a burn spell a lot of the time, so I really do like that. Chemist's Insight can help you get rid of your dead cards in matchups. We already talked about Vraska's Contempt. And then Angrat the Flame Chained is a nice planeswalker at the top end. It's just kind of a cool card. And then it can just grind out some value for you. And also like steal their creatures and sacrifice them against the red decks. You can sometimes do something like take a Fanatical Firebrand, use it to ping a Viashino Pyromancer. That's like the dream, probably, I think. I mean, that's my dream, but anyway, there's a super cool card. And then Carnival Carnage. I really do like this card. This is one of the best cards in the deck, in my opinion, because in best of 1, Carnival is really nice against the aggressive decks, and Carnage is good against the control decks. So it's just a very flexible card. Maybe not one of the best cards in the deck. That might have been a bit of a hyperbole, but definitely a strong card in the deck and a card that I'm always relatively happy to have in my hand. Anyway, that is going to do it for the deck tech. Let's get into the matches, and I'll see you then. Hello everybody, this is my future self here, checking in. Just wanted to let you know that if you want to see the changes I made to the deck, I ended up playing 2 matches with this deck, and then I made some changes and have some analysis behind those, and then I played 3 matches with the revised version. So if you want to see the time where I made the changes, there will be a timestamp in the comments section, in a pinned comment, and also in the description, or you can just continue watching the video, and it will happen naturally. Anyway, I'll send you back to my past self, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Hello, and welcome to round 1 with this GRIXIS Midrange deck. This looks like a very nice hand. We can go Duress into Thought Erasure, into Thief of Sanity, so we can pick apart their hand, take their removal spells, and then land a Thief of Sanity, and we're on the play for all of this. So very good hand, and then we can hold up Negate to protect it even further. This is going to be good against most matchups, I'd say, though our mana base is incredibly painful, so if we are against a red deck, it could be a bit problematic. I think red is an interesting matchup. I'm not sure how good or bad it is, but I think it's definitely an interesting one. Okay, so we are playing against the red deck. So this turn, they won't have a turn 1 play. Their turn 2 play is going to be the Pyromancer, but we'll take that before they can cast it. So let's just take their Lightning Strike here, and then turn 2 we'll take their Viashino Pyromancer. Okay, Fanatical Firebrand is fine. And then we'll play our Thief of Sanity and then hold up Negate for their... Actually, change of plan. Pay 2 life. Thought Erasure. So we are going to take their... We can either take Vision of Pyromancer or light up the stage here. I think we just want to take the Pyromancer and hope their light up the stage isn't very good to them. And NicolaiBolas, it's tricky because we do like NicolaiBolas, but we just really want to draw lands that don't hurt us. Because if we want to cast this on curve, we'll have to take 4 more damage. Let's view the battlefield. So we're going to take 1 next turn, go to 14, then we'll be at 13 and play the Thief of Sanity. Or maybe we just, yeah, we'll keep it on top. And maybe next turn we'll just play this tap land and, no. We want to get the Thief of Sanity into play, I think. We'll see what they exile with this light up the stage. Thief of Sanity is not generally as good against mono red. Okay. Luckily he can only cast one of those spells, so we are going to just play this tapped and then negate one of his plays, because he's probably going to play one of these spells. Unfortunately, we can't negate the Risk Factor and the Experimental Frenzy. Yeah, we don't want to go to 9. Oh, that was a really good draw. So we'll make him discard his 2 cards. We're at a decent life total. Yikes. Okay, we'll just get NicolaiBolas down. It's a tricky spot for sure. This Risk Factor is really annoying. So is the Fanatical Firebrand Goblin Chain Whirler combo. We are not going to block. We have 4 cast downs, 2 Vraska's Contempts, and 3 Moment of Cravings in our deck. Hopefully we draw one of those. Preferably like a Moment of Craving. So here we're just going to take the damage. We don't want to let him draw 3. We'll just dive. We let him draw 3. We can just hope he bricks for a couple turns. We'll Chemister's Insight. Hope to hit some of these life gain removal spells. There's one. Moment of Craving's good. Unfortunately, it came a bit late, but better late than never, as they say. And now we just have to hope our opponent bricks for a turn. And by brick, I mean just draws a land. Yep, it's a shock. We didn't have our best draw against them. We would have had a really good draw against a control deck because our life total wouldn't have mattered as much. But as it was, potentially keeping the NicolaiBolas wasn't a good move. But the NicolaiBolas would have shut down any of his creatures that weren't Goblin Chain Whirler plus the Fanatical Firebrand. And he drew the Firebrand on the top turn 1, so we couldn't really plan around that. Overall, just a kind of tricky matchup. And yeah, you did get to see some of the cards in action, though. So yeah, hopefully the next round goes a little bit better. Hello and welcome to round 2 with Merchant's GRIXIS Midrange deck. This is a fine hand. We can go Duress into Thief of Sanity. I think you have to keep this hand, though there are some matchups it's a little bit worse in. We'll go Swamp first, and then next turn we can go Blood Crypt tapped. Okay, so it's a control deck. We'll take the Absorb, and then we'll Duress him again on our next turn. Maybe take the a removal spell if he drew one. So let's just Duress him again. Thought Erasure. Yeah, definitely taking that. because now he can't counter our spell. Hopefully he didn't draw another one. This is like the ideal start. I think this deck is an interesting take on the best of one format, because if you draw the right half of your deck, you can beat any matchup. But if you draw the wrong half of your deck, you can just lose to any matchup too. So, okay, we'll get the NicolaiBolas into play. There is some thought to Thought Erasuring his Teferi, but then he'll be able to absorb our NicolaiBolas, and NicolaiBolas is a good card in the matchup. Though maybe it would have been better for us if we had done that, because now he gets to absorb and then Teferi, tuck our NicolaiBolas, and we're screwed. Yikes. I have a feeling that the deck doesn't have quite enough flexible cards. Like, I think 4 cast downs is a bit many. Oh, thank goodness he couldn't cast the Teferi. Whew, we're alive for now. Hopefully we can draw our... Nope, not that. I think that I would rather have a couple more Vraska's Contempts, maybe, or some more Chemister's Insights. Vraska's Contempt being a big one because it's good in all of the matchups. Here I just have to hope he whiffs on land, which is... could happen. Aw, dang. Rats. What? So my opponent didn't want a Teferi minus. Oh, only any time I could cast a sorcery. Oh, he just wanted to play me like a violin. We were going to attack him and then transform. I also kind of thought you could do it at instant speed, but that doesn't really matter as much. Angrath. So Angrath can kind of like match up against Teferi, but it's not the greatest, because Teferi can just minus to put it back. Yikes. That's probably game. Whew. So we played against a mono red deck, and then we're playing against control deck. And we see a couple of the weaknesses of the deck. So after this round, I'm going to be doing a deck revision, where I change the deck a little bit, and then we'll run it through a couple more games, because I have some ideas that I think would make it a little bit better. But we're not going to like drastically change the idea of the deck, because that's not really what we're all about. Almost could kill that. Interesting to see what he'll take here. Probably the Carnival Carnage. Unless he has a counter spell, in which case it doesn't really matter what he takes here. Okay. Okay, I see it. I see you. I wish we could target Planeswalkers with Carnage. I guess we should have thought erasure first. My thought was that I would rather save my thought erasure for afterwards. And even if he does use a counter spell, it's all that changes his life total. Whereas next turn I could maybe get extra value from like the thought erasure. So we'll thought erasure now, I guess. Okay, we take the Kaya. Definitely don't want that. Yeah. Teferi is a problem for this deck, I have noticed. Well, might as well try. Vraska's Contempt seems like an unnecessary card in this deck, just because of the Teferi issue. Turn 5 Teferi is just really tricky. Ooh. Oh. Haha, the comeback! Oh, yes! Oh, the comeback! Graveyard. Transform. Oh, I'm liking it now. I am really feeling this deck. I never doubted it for a second. You heard it here first. Perfect construction. Wow, things have really turned around for us here. Those were a good series of draws. We're going to use the Azcanta. Get that negate. Now we can hold up negate and use Azcanta. We can't quite do everything we want, so we will just pass and then do our stuff next turn. Yes! Our opponent concedes! Oh my gosh, I can't believe we got that W. That being said, I'm still going to make a couple changes to the deck, but that was a massive swing. Holy smokes. What a turn of events there. Really impressed with how the deck battled back there. Whew. Hello and welcome to the revision section of the video. We are going to be tweaking this deck a little bit based on the results of our previous two games that you saw, some of the weaknesses that we highlighted there, but then also based on previous testing that I had done. So first of all, what is the problem, that I see with the deck? I think the big problem is cast down. It's just not flexible enough because it's only good in the creature matchups. And sure, you play creature matchups a pretty decent amount, but you also play the control matchups a decent amount. And cast down is completely dead in the matchup, as is Moment of Craving. And I think in the creature matchup, you'd rather have Moment of Craving because this color combination doesn't really have life gain. So you would rather have the Moment of Craving for the red decks, for the white decks, even though Moment of Craving doesn't kill Benelish Marshal. So I think that the change we're going to make involves cutting cast downs for more flexible things, but while keeping the core of the deck the same. Also, in a purely optimized world, we would have a sideboard, even in best of one, because our Thief of Sanity could technically take someone's Mastermind's acquisition, and that could be a really nice... and then having a sideboard is really useful. I'm not going to do that because adding just a sideboard just is a little too much work, but that's just something that you could do. So we are going to be making some changes. We're going to be cutting all of the cast downs, and we're going to be adding a Moment of Craving and 2 Vraska's Contempts. That's just this is just like an extra removal spell for the aggro matchups. The Vraska's Contempts are for the control matchup. So we've already made our deck a lot more flexible, and flexibility is really nice. And then I think I am just going to add the Carnage here because that's another card that's flexible, works nicely in the aggressive matchup. So having the 4th Carnage could be nice. Now, that being said, we do have a decent number of like dead cards in the matchup, so I would kind of like to find room for a 3rd Chemistry's Insight, but at the end of the day, we're more of a like mid-rangey, like put some creatures on the board, like Thief of Sanity and NicolaiBolas, than a control deck that would run a full playset of Chemistry's Insight. So I think we'll just try it like this and see how this deck performs, this build of it. I still like the googly eyes for the so we're going to use GRIXIS Best of 1 Revised. And yeah, I think this deck, the changes we've made might make it a little bit worse against the aggressive matchups because obviously cast down can kill like anything. It can kill a Goblin Chain Whirler, and it can kill a Benelish Marshal. But I think in general, Moment of Craving can kill almost everything that a cast down can kill, and the Vraska's Contempts that we've added, the 2 extras, can help compensate for the potential loss. Okay, so our opponent is going first. This hand cannot beat an aggressive opponent, and it's good against a control opponent. So that's one of the classic things with best of one. Is do you want to just lose the aggressive matchup while winning the control matchup? I think we'll keep this hand because it has some chance of winning the aggressive matchup, especially now that we added more things like Moment of Craving. That's the exact card I was going to talk about, because if we draw a Moment of Craving or we Surveil into one, it gets much better. Enters tapped. So double Thought Erasure can help us find our 3rd land to land a Thief of Sanity. We can use our Chemist's Insight to discard a Moment of Craving. Dawn of Hope. Ooh, a spicy control list. Okay. Let's get this Thought Erasure rolling. Okay, 2 Dovin's Acuities. Okay. And a Moment of Craving for our Thief of Sanity. So we'll take the Moment of Craving. And we'll discard this because we do want to draw lands to try and curve out. Our opponent does have a Devious Cover-Up. So this is a case, like, in this matchup, Moment of Craving is just as dead as Cast Down. But we don't have 4 Cast Downs now. We have much fewer, like, completely dead draws. Here we are going to get the Thief of Sanity down. Hope that they didn't draw a Mortify in the midst of that. Revitalize is a good sign for me. Hopefully they don't draw another Moment of Craving. / land. Nightmare's Thirst. Ooh, that's a spicy one. I like it. They did whiff on lands, but then again, so did we. Okay, so they have a Clear the Mind, a Kaya, and a Devious Cover-Up. So our plan here, we don't care about the Kaya. The Kaya doesn't do anything to us. The Clear the Minds don't do anything to us. And the Dovin's Acuity he has too, so we can't really get rid of any of them. We'll just take the Counterspell and put that land on top, and then just try to get a bunch of NicolaiBolas value and overpower the Dovin's Acuities while he's mana screwed. Hopefully hit a 2nd land to get Angrath rolling. And now even if he does draw a kill spell, we have a backup NicolaiBolas. So like in best of one, especially these types of matchups, my opponent's also going to have a decent number of dead draws. This deck doesn't really make any of the opponent's draws as dead, but board sweepers are much less relevant than they normally would be, things like that. Just going to play my best card here. Get some nice value. Yeah, discarding the 2nd Dovin's Acuity is wise. And ripped off the top the Mortify. Little does he know that we have a backup NicolaiBolas. That's actually really good for us. It means he's not developing his Dovin's Acuity. And now if we draw a land, we can just play the Angrath, which we will do. We'll play the Angrath because then we can just pick apart his hand completely and start ticking up towards ultimate. His graveyard is going to have a lot of cards in it. He gets rid of the Dovin's Acuity. That's interesting. That's actually really good for me too. Okay, so now we can completely kill his hand. We have 4 cards in exile. We're not really concerned about dying here. So this is feeling pretty good. We also, remember, have those extra Vraska's Contempts in this deck, so we can just kill the Kaya. Okay, so we've emptied his hand. He's going to be playing off the top now. And a Nightmare's Thirst with no life gain. Ouch. Drawing a card doesn't even help him unless it's a land. Okay, it is a land. So he lucked out on that a little bit. He still loses the life even if we do plus. And here we are going to Chemist's Insight, even though we won't get to flash it back because of the Kaya. Do we want to kill the Kaya? I'd think so. Kaya is going to be problematic because it's going to do 6 damage to us at some point. And so killing it's probably just wise overall. Also, it stops Dawn of Hope from triggering as easily. So we have a very solid grip on this game. Angrath really makes it harder for my opponent to come back. NicolaiBolas will flip eventually, especially because I have extras in my hand. So this, you might say, oh, that's 8 damage that you couldn't have done, but she's going to restore a bunch of health. Okay. I'm glad we waited on the Angrath tick up. Wow, Kaya's Wrath. That would have been pretty good there. Enters tap. We'll play a Thief of Sanity now. I'm liking the way the deck has performed. I mean, none of our like changes have really come to fruition. This is just the standard deck. Maybe this Moment of Craving would have been a cast down, but this is just the pure and simple the deck at its working the way it's supposed to work. A couple of Thought Erasures paving the way. And my opponent concedes. Nice. Very nice, very nice. Hopefully we play a matchup where we can kind of highlight the changes we made to the deck, but that was a pretty solid performance regardless, and I'm pretty happy with how the deck performed. Hello, and welcome to what is probably going to be the final round of this video. We have a sketchy hand. We don't have any black mana, which means I'm probably going to just have to ship this hand. The Carnival does help a little bit, but not having black mana is just a no-no. We can't win if we don't draw black mana. This hand is also sketchy, but we already mulliganed once, and so we kind of just have to keep that one, hope for the best. Okay, that helps. Black mana is good. Let's just get the island out. It's going to be a control matchup, so our life total won't matter as much. Sure. Takes the negate. That makes sense. There's some consideration to negating just because he's probably going to take the negate. But I figured he might want to take a Vraska's Contempt or something, or you never know. They can make mistakes. Though I did read an article where by Paulo Vitor Damarosa, where if they have a choice, you should just stop them from having the choice. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Let's attack him with our Thief of Sanity, getting in there. We're not going to cast Thought Erasure first. Oh, yes. Let's take it to Fairy. Keep in mind you can't take lands. And then we'll take use a Thought Erasure to take a removal spell. Oh. Hello, Vraska's Contempt. We'll keep a land on top. Maximize our own Teferi odds. So now he has to draw a removal spell. And he concedes! Oh my gosh, I can't believe we won that game. Still haven't really showed off the sideboard changes. I just kind of want to match up against an aggressive deck. Really show things off. So we'll keep playing until we play against an aggressive deck and see how the changes end up working out. But that was a pretty nice win for the deck. Hello and welcome. Here we get to kind of see a lot of our changes. We have the Vraska's Contempt and the Moment of Craving. Maybe those are the ones we added. You never know. We do go first, but we have 3 Drowned Catacombs. We're going to keep, but it's not as good of a keep as I would hope for. I hope I can draw an untapped land on turn 2. Red man is not as important, but... Ooh, so we are against a red deck. So this is going to be the final round of the video. Hopefully our extra Moment of Craving can carry us, and we draw an untapped land. That's not an untapped land, but it's close enough. Because we can Carnival this. These are extra cards we all added. We added the 4th Carnival, the 4th Moment of Craving. Or maybe he'll go for a Runaway Steamkin. Okay, that resolves. Got him. Flexibility for the win. Dang, that was the title of one of my videos. Okay. So we'll play this. And then we will... Let's Thought Erasure him, because I want to draw an untapped land so I can start Vraska's Contempting. And this will probably save us 3 damage anyway. Okay. Skewer and Lightning Strike? Sure. Take Lightning Strike. We'll top that. Okay, this extra life gain is going to be coming in handy. So now next turn I can get Search for Azcanta down. And at some point I can even Carnage him to get rid of his last 2 cards. These extra life gains are going to be useful. This Vraska's Contempt is much better than a cast down would be here. Okay, and we get the Search for Azcanta down. We're at 13 life. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand, one of which is a mountain. No whammies. Graveyard that one. Oh my goodness. We'll just play a land and pass. We do kind of wish that we had a mountain so we could have made him discard his last 2 cards there. Yep, Chain Whirler, the Chain Father. And okay. So this is at 5 right now. I think we actually do want to graveyard this because we are at 14 and we just want to kind of draw a threat slash flip the Search for Azcanta as fast as possible. We don't need to make him discard his hand right now. Okay, Runaway Steamkin, sure. We aren't going to just fire this off. Okay, graveyard for sure, so we can transform. So we'll Thought Erasure. We will Carnival him. And now we have up a Search for Azcanta activation. And we're at 12 life against Mono Red. So this is a game that we should win, folks. Our changes paid off. I mean, we've drawn 2 carnivals, so we had that extra carnival maybe. I don't know. Cast down would have been good in this matchup too, I guess. But I like the Vraska's Contempt, how it played out. It's not really about the specific how each card lined up, but like in general, I just prefer this configuration. We'll take a negate. Okay, things are not going perfectly here. We could still lose, which is really sad, but you know, such is life. Oh, the Vraska's Contempt. Oh, that's so good. Just gonna Vraska's Contempt that real quick. Gain that life back. Oh, yes. Imagine if those had been 2 cast downs. We would have been at 6 life. It would have been way sketchier. I don't know. Dang it. We'll hold up the negate still. No need to let him resolve a non-creature spell. And Grath can kill Goblin Chain Whirler, so that's why we're taking it. I mean, obviously it's better than 4th Duress. Wow, game lagged a little bit there. Wow, game is lagging. And my opponent concedes. He sees the writing on the wall. Whew, that extra life gain coming in clutch, and with it, the promotion to gold. I mean, that's not a huge accomplishment. I mean, silver is really easy to get out of, but we'll take it. Great way to finish the video. As always, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. I'll pull up the deck list here in case you wanted to copy it down. I'll pull up the revised version. I'm sure you can find the other one somewhere else. if you want to. But as always, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to get updates whenever I post new content. Leave a comment in the comment section below. What did you think of the changes I made to the deck? What did you think of the gameplay? Yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next time.